Hello, this is Nigel from Importing Riches. Today's video is about a subject that not many people know about. In fact, if you've imported for an extended period of time, then you'll actually know, uh, about this particular subject. But if you're a newbie and you never imported before, you will not know until you experience it, and then you're about to position yourself more profitably in the next time you source more products. And it's basically got to do with supply and demand, where the product is in high demand but the supply is low. But it's basically what happens is you want to get in the cycle of a product at the beginning. You don't want to get it at the end. So I've got an example of this. Is something that I did when I first started. When I first got into the game over 8 years ago, and I understood this concept. And until I found a product that was very, very profitable, that's when I just pretty much this product that I imported for a long time built my whole business. It only takes one product to do that, but you got to sift through the other products to get to that diamond in the rough. And I'll demonstrate what I mean by this with this simple product here, because I actually started importing this back in the day. This is when no one ever knew about this stuff. So for illustrations purposes, I've got a Canon EOS Rebel T3i SLR, digital SLR, and pretty much it's, this is where all SLRs are these days. However, back in the day, the maximum that SLRs went to were probably around about 10 megapixel, but they were very, very expensive. They would cost you $3,000 to $4,000 even just to get an 8 megapixel camera. So what I did was, when I saw this and I understood that they were so expensive, I knew that you could get them from China a lot cheaper. So what I did was I imported a product that was very similar to a digital SLR. It wasn't branded, so I was allowed to import it. You can't import Nikon or Canon. You just get sued. So I went for unbranded. But the big thing about this unbranded product was it was I think at the time it put out 10 or 14 megapixels, and which was unheard of, and it was half the price. So in comparison, I was selling these and they had 12 to 14 megapixel, and I was selling them for about $350 if I can remember. They cost me about $180 to import. But the closest competitor was Canon and Nikon, which were a couple of thousand. So you can see how how I sold a lot of these, because at the end of the day, people wanted the megapixel because of the size of the megapixels. And if you're familiar with cameras, you know that the bigger the megapixel, the better the zoom, and all these things, the flash and all these lenses and things like that. All these things cost money, and there was nothing like that at the time that had all these features and it had the 12 or 14 megapixel. And at the time the megapixel was what the camera manufacturers were selling. And as soon as it jumped 2 megapixels, we're talking over 10 years ago, as soon as it jumped 10 megapixels, the price was just shot up astronomically. So the Chinese, in all their wisdom, they created these digital SLRs that were a fraction of the price, and I got onto these very early. So the point is, every product has a cycle, and eventually they'll meet that cycle, and then the demand will drop, supply will increase because people will still import it. So then the price will drop, because obviously if there's more supply in the marketplace, people can then pick and choose, and as the buyers demand drops, the buyers drop, then the price will also drop. Okay, so the digital cameras, it was a bit like along the same lines as the ink cartridges. You know, when ink cartridges were huge back in the day, the manufacturers of printers were charging astronomical amount for the ink cartridges. So then what they did was they started producing these ink cartridges really cheap, and everyone bought them. People made millions of dollars with ink cartridges. But then that was phased out, just like the digital SRs phased out. You know, now the norm is 10 megapixels as a normal, and you can pick them up for $300 to $400 for a branded SLR. Well, the same with inkjet, and now it's all laser. See, so it goes through these phases, and the whole point of this video is through when you're importing products, you will go through these phases where the product will start off fairly low, the supply, and the supply will increase to a point where the demand is simply not there anymore. So you need to get in early, and get in when it's fairly new, so then you're getting in the beginning of the cycle, and you can make a lot of money, and then get out as the demand drops. So it's very important that that you understand that, because then that's going to help you. That's exactly what I did. I was able to get onto something when it was very new in my country, and I sold these by the container loads, and it was only one product by the container loads, and that was how I was able to build my business and get all the revenue that I did. So if you want some more information on how to import like a boss, just head over to importingriches.com, and I've got a full e-course on how to import